Raise your hand if you've ever taken a photo and immediately thought, what happened there? Too bright, too dark, or just not what you pictured? Yep, I've been there too, and as a photography tutor, I see these kind of mistakes all the time. The good news, they're really common, and even better, they are totally fixable. In this video, I'll walk you through the 3 biggest exposure mistakes beginners make and show you how to avoid them so your photos start turning out the way you'd imagined. And stick around for a bonus tip at the end that'll give your exposure skills an instant boost, even if you're not quite ready yet to dive into full manual mode. Let's fix those exposure problems for good. Exposure is one of the most important aspects of photography. Too much light and your image is washed out. Too little and it's too dark. Getting it right means capturing the scene exactly as you see it with perfect detail and balance. Unfortunately, I see new photographers often running into the same 3 mistakes when trying to control exposure. In this video, I'll break down each mistake in simple terms and explain how to fix them so you can start capturing perfectly exposed photos every time. Auto mode might seem like the safest option. Just point and shoot and the camera does the rest, right? But here's the problem. Your camera doesn't actually know what you're trying to capture. It sees only light and colour, not the mood, the subject, or your creative vision. Cameras in auto mode are programmed to expose for what they think is a typical scene, usually aiming for neutral grey tone. And that's fine for quick snapshots, but if you have a snowy landscape, a dark concert, or a golden hour portrait, auto mode can easily get it wrong. For example, if you're shooting someone in front of a bright window, auto mode might expose for the window and leave your subject in the shadows. Or if you're capturing a dramatic sunset, it might try to brighten the image and completely wash out the rich colours you're trying to preserve. So why does this matter? Well, if you want to improve your photography and start creating images that match what you see, and more importantly how you feel, you need to take control. Relying on auto means you're handing over the creative decisions to your camera, and cameras are smart, but they are not artists. So to fix this, learn to use your camera's manual mode, or at least adjust exposure compensation in semi-automatic modes like aperture or shutter priority. Taking your camera off auto isn't just a technical move, it's a creative breakthrough. It's the moment you stop settling for what the camera thinks is good enough and start making images that actually reflect your style, your mood, and your story. Think of it like switching from an autopilot to manual on a road trip. Sure, the GPS can take you somewhere, but when you're in control, you get to choose a scenic route. Pull over for golden hour or chase a moment that only you noticed. Learning how to adjust exposure, even just a little, gives you the power to shape the feeling of your photo, not just a technical result. And the more you practice, the more confident and instinctive it becomes. So if you've ever looked at a photo and thought, that's not what I saw, this is your sign to take back the wheel. Your creativity deserves more than auto. Aperture, shutter speed and ISO work together to control exposure, but many beginners only focus on one and forget the others. The aperture controls how much light enters and also affects background blur. Shutter speed controls how long light hits a sensor, faster speeds freeze motion, while slower speeds let in more light but can cause blur. ISO makes your sensor more sensitive to light but can add grain or noise if it's too high. Understanding the exposure triangle is where your journey really begins. When you stop letting the camera make all the decisions and start balancing aperture, shutter speed and ISO yourself, everything changes. Instead of adjusting just one setting, think about the balance. If you make your shutter speed faster, you may need to open the aperture or raise the ISO to compensate for the lost light. You're no longer just taking pictures, you're creating images with intention. Whether it's getting that creamy background blur in a portrait, freezing a fast-moving subject, or capturing the mood of a low-light scene, knowing how these 3 elements work together gives you creative freedom. And good news, it's actually easier than you think. I have a video that breaks it down in simple terms, walking you through how to master aperture, shutter speed and ISO one step at a time. And I'll link that one for you in the description below. You're closer than you think to shooting exactly the way you want to. Many beginners rely on the camera's screen, but that tiny display isn't always accurate, especially in bright sunlight. You might think your exposure is perfect, but when you get back home, your highlights are blown out or the shadows are completely black. To fix this, when you're taking a picture, check your histogram, which is a graph that shows the brightness of the image. If the peaks are bunched up to the left, your photo's too dark. If they're jammed against the right-hand side, it's too bright. Aim for a balanced curve, avoiding extreme edges. Now here's the thing, there's no such thing as a perfect histogram. Your camera doesn't know what you're photographing, it just sees brightness. So if you're shooting a bright snowy landscape or a clean high-key portrait, that graph's going to be leaning heavily to the right. If it's a moody night scene or something intentionally dark and dramatic, it'll lean to the left. And that's totally normal. Think of the histogram like a volume meter on a music track. A loud rock song and a quiet acoustic ballad are going to have totally different waveforms, but both are right for what they're meant to be. It's not about censoring the graph, it's about matching it to the mood of your shot. Hope that helps it click. See what I did there? Alright, just a quick one before we crack on with our bonus tip to sharpen your exposure skills. If you are genuinely keen on improving your photography, I've put together an ebook on the essentials. It's packed with practical stuff to help you get better faster. Best bit? By signing up to my monthly newsletter, you can download it for free. When you're ready, the link is waiting for you down in the description. So why not grab it after? Now, let's get to that bonus tip. Not quite ready to shoot in full manual mode? No problem. Exposure bracketing is a powerful tool that can help bridge the gap while you build your confidence. Most cameras have this feature and it's really useful when you're not 100% sure if your exposure is right, especially in tricky lighting like bright skies, shadowy forest or golden hour scenes. When you turn it on, your camera will automatically take 3 versions of the same photo. One at normal exposure, one slightly darker, one slightly brighter. This gives you options to choose from later or even to blend the images together if you get into editing. It's a great way to learn what kind of exposure looks best after the fact while still making sure you don't miss the shot in the moment. Think of exposure bracketing as both a safety net and a stepping stone. It gives you the freedom to experiment without the fear of getting it wrong, and that's where real growth starts. Each bracketed shot is like a mini lesson in light. When you look at them later, you start to see subtle differences and develop that all-important photographer's instinct. You're training your eye even before you fully commit to manual mode. And here's the truth. Great photography isn't about perfection, it's about intention. Bracketing helps you explore your creative options without missing the moment. That's a win-win in any scenario. So whether you're just getting started or transitioning out of auto mode, don't wait for the perfect settings to appear. Use tools like this to learn, create and grow in real time. Because every time you take a photo with intention, you're one step closer to mastering your craft. Think of it as a safety net for your exposure and a learning tool all in one. Your best work is only a few mindful exposures away. If you're still building your manual skills, bracketing is a smart and easy way to improve your results right now. So those are the 3 biggest exposure mistakes and how to fix them. If this video helped, give it a like, subscribe for more photography education tips like this one, and let me know in the comments which mistake you've made before. We've all been there. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.